prisms and pyramids. So you should have been, if you're not comfortable, that is, if you're not comfortable with surface area, you should look at part 1 and part 2. So we're going to move on to a little harder prisms, more challenging, we should say. So we'll start with the trapezoidal, a trapezoidal prism. So I'll write it here. Trapezoidal. Fix that. Trapezoidal prism. So if it says trapezoidal, that means it has a trapezoid in the prism. And the bases would be a trapezoid, or the fronts, which could also be the base. So let's draw one, trapezoidal prism, and then we'll figure out the area of it. So let's first start. You first start by making a trapezoid. All right. Do a little art class today. I'll lift this up. And then we can make a top. Make sure you look at the angles when you make the top. And you make your side. So there it is. We have a trapezoidal prism. And let's put some measurements to it. Let's say we have a 12 here. Let's say we have an 8 here. We have a 6 here, and we'll have a 5 there. And we'll just say they're units. The only thing we're missing is we need to know a height. So I'll put the dotted line here for height. And let's say it's 4. Let's just say it's 4. So you should remember the area of a trapezoid. Right? So let's put it up here. Put it right here. How's that? The area will be half B1 plus B2 times the height. That's the formula. So the first thing we should look at is how many sides do we have in this trapezoidal prism? Well, we have a front and a back, so that's 2. We have 2 sides, that's 4 now. We have a top and we have a bottom. So we have 6 faces, right? We have 6 faces. And how many vertices do we have? You should remember that word. All right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, vertices is plural for vertex. So we have 4 here, 5, 6, 7, and there's 1 you can't see in the back. So we have 8 vertices. And of course, we know that the line connecting the 2 vertices is called the edge. We remember that from the last videos. So we have our edge, faces, and vertices. Now let's get our surface area. All right, so let's bring this down so we can see. Oh, we have a 12 here, remember. So let's get the area of one trapezoid, then we can know the area of the other. So we said half, this is B1 or B2, doesn't matter which one you use. You just have to add the 2 bases. Right, here's one base, here's the other base. So if you add these 2 together, you're going to get 20. So it's going to be half of 12 plus 8 times the height of 4. Height is 4. So that gives us half of 20 times 4. Half of 20 is 10. 10 times 4 is 40. So we have 40 for the front. Now if the front is 40, the back is 40. So far we have 80. I'll just put it here for now. We have 80. And I'll put a 2F for 2 faces. But remember, we need 6 faces. So we got the front and the back. What about the 2 sides? Well, again, we can put 40 here, just to remember. Well, the 2 sides are over here. Let's flip this up. Here's a side. It's 6, 6 by 5, right? So that's 30. And we have 30 on both sides, so that gives us 60. So I can put a 60 here for another 2 faces. Now we need 2 more faces. We need a top and a bottom. Be careful, because the top is not the same as the bottom. You can see the bottom is much bigger. So what is the top? Well, the top is 8 by 6, right? Because that's 6, that's 6. So that's 48. So we can put a 48 here. That's one face. And we're missing one more face. Fix that 8. 48. We're missing the bottom, which is 12 by 6. What's 12 by 6? Well, it's 72, right? So we'll put a 72 here, and we just have to add all this together, and we know our surface area. So what is the surface area of this trapezoidal prism? Right, so the whole surface area is 260 units squared. So the surface area is 260 units. And remember, area is always squared. What do you think a net would be of this? Can you draw a net of this? Try that. Okay, let's try one. So you can start, well, here's our base. Our base is pretty big, right? And then we have a side that we'll put together. There's our side. There's another side. And then we have our back. And then we have to draw it upside down for our front. We're just missing one. Remember, we said we have 6 sides. Here, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We only have 5 sides. We have the Chevrolet logo, looks like almost. Well, we're missing the top that we have to put up here, and so we can make it a little bigger than the side, something like that. There's our net. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make sure you count that you have 6 sides. All right, let's try another challenging prism. Actually, it's not a prism, it's a pyramid. It's a hexagonal pyramid. And remember, with pyramids, every face or shape has to be a triangle, except one does not have to be. In this case, the one is a hexagon, right? So we should first start with a hexagon. Right, here's our hexagon. Right, doesn't have to be perfect, right? And then we can make, however long you want to make it. There's our triangles. There's a triangle connecting there. There's one there. There's one there, right? And I think we have everything, right? So basically, we have our hexagonal pyramid. So how can we get the area of this? Well, first of all, how many faces do we have? There's 6 triangles, right? There's 6 triangles. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We have to have 6 because all the triangles are connecting to the hexagon, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 triangles. We have 6 triangles. And then we have one hexagon base. One hexagon base. So we have 7 faces. And how many vertices we have? Well, we have 6 on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1 on top. So 6 triangles, 1 hexagon base, we have 7 faces, and we have 7 vertices. So let's get the area of the 6 triangles first. So let's do some measurements. Let's just say, and we have a dotted line for height, let's say the height was 10. Now this will be, all these triangles are equilateral. If they weren't, then you would see another height measurement. So they're all equal. They may not look equal, but we'll just say they're all equal. And let's just say that we have a base of 6. So that means this is 6 also. Even though it doesn't look that way, we'll just say that everything is 6. So if we look at one triangle, remember the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So 60 base is 6 times 10 is 60 divided by 2 is 30. So we know that the area of one triangle is 30. But we have 6 of them. So the area of that would be 180. So we have 180 so far just for the triangles. Let's move this over a little so we can see, what about the hexagon? So for the hexagon, you know that we have one base of 6, but you don't know what's inside this, right? So let's just say, if I make this here, that I gave you some measurements here. And we can break down the hexagon into, guess what? 2 trapezoids, which we just did. So let's say we had a dotted line going across here, and let's just say that that was also 10. And let's say another dotted line here, and it's going to get messy. Let's say that dotted line is the height. See that dotted line I just made? And let's just put an arrow. We'll say that that height is 5. There you go. See the 5 it was hiding. So let's look up here. Well, this is what we have inside here. We have a 10. We have a 6. And instead of 5, let's just make it 6 also. Why not? It's easier for today. Let's just say that's 6 also. If you get the area of one trapezoid, then you know the area of the other. So what's the area of this trapezoid? So let's be careful. Remember, base 1 plus base 2, that's 16. Half of 16 is what? 8. And 8 times the height. Now be careful, the height isn't 6. The height is 3. Why is it 3? Who knows? Because from here to here is 6. So half of it would be 3. Okay, so one trapezoid is 24. But you have to add them together, so we have 48. 48 is the area of that trapezoid. So we just add 48 to it. So what is the total area now? Of 8, 2, and 2. 228 units. Bring that over so we see it. Got it? Units squared. All right, we did 2 challenging ones for surface area part 3. Great job.